Oh my god, we survived. That was a wild game. Timberwolves go to Dallas for Kyrie Irving's home debut, which would be a crazy one. Probably not very exciting for Mavericks appears for a long stretch of that one, but the fourth quarter, they got their money's worth in seeing Kyrie in his debut. We managed to survive the 26 points he would pour in that quarter alone. I think he has 5 20-plus point fourth quarters now this year, which is absurd. Timberwolves had a 26-point lead earlier in that game that they built up in the third quarter. I was playing my own basketball game, so I didn't get to see the game until we started to lose the lead. I saw a couple stretches of us kind of hovering around the 26-ish points, and then I got to watch as it would go down and down and down and down to as much as a 3-point lead at the end of that game, which is how much the Wolves would win by. And as far as blown 20-plus point leads go, I'm not scathing and upset with the Timberwolves in that one. I felt like it was just kind of a Botero display where at the end of that third quarter, first off, the Sucks were giving the Mavericks some extremely generous calls. They got 8 free throws in the span of about 2 minutes, so that really dampens the lead a bit. And then Luka just starts hitting some really tough mid-range fadeaways. That's kind of how the quarter ends, and then the Wolves are up 18 going into the fourth. Then Kyrie Irving just makes everything with tremendous defense through basically that entire quarter. He had an and one 10 seconds into the quarter. He was even getting put back layups. He had 2 separate ones in that quarter. Dude was just special. The Wolves were able to do just enough. The main person that was so clutch in that fourth quarter was Kyle Anderson, making big plays just about every way he could. With a minute left in that game, the Mavericks were down 4. He gets a poke away from Luka after incredible defense. Very next possession, he would poke the offensive rebound over to Jaden McDaniels, who would draw a foul, so we get 1 more point off of that. Because Jaden would miss 3 straight fourth quarter free throws, the Wolves 5 missed free throws in that quarter as a team. That was brutal, kept them in it, but that's really kind of the main thing I would nitpick on. Defensive rebounding from the Wolves was also not great, and we also took out kind of all the bigs. All the bigs were out in that game. Christian Wood was a stud for the Mavs most of that one. Gobert didn't miss a shot and seemed pretty great in his minutes. And the Wolves were really focused on getting to the rim and punishing the Mavs when they were small, but to close out that game, it was ultra small ball. Also got a shout out finish for some great after timeout plays, because there were 2 times in that fourth quarter that the Wolves would get layups after those timeouts. 1 for Anthony Edwards, 1 for Kyle Anderson, who was kind of faking a dribble handoff, got right to the rim for an open one. And easy buckets like that in the middle of an exhilarating run in a hostile environment, they're incredibly important, so it's huge that that was picked up and the Wolves were able to execute. A poor 3-point shooting night from the Wolves, but they were super good from 2. Jaden McDaniels with a very efficient offensive night. Anthony Edwards with a big scoring run too. However, he would only pick up 1 assist in this game, and it kind of showed. It's like he was always looking to get his shot, especially in that fourth quarter. And there was kind of some mixed results with that. He made some tough buckets that were really big at the time, and then made some mistakes and missed some people at times too. Overall, I felt like the ball movement from the Wolves was pretty impressive too. You saw 9 assists out of Conley, who improved this game after his kind of lackluster debut. Taurean Prince also with a good recovery game with 5 assists and 0 turnovers after having 4 the previous game. And the end of that game was so delicious. Unfortunately, Mike Conley would go 1 of 2 from the line, meaning the Mavericks would have the ball, 15 seconds left, down 3, and Kyrie can't miss anything. They also have Luka. And the Mavs go to those 2 players to try to get the final shot. What happens? Jaden McDaniels, ultimate ball pressure, hits the ball away into the backcourt, keeps up the pressure, gets launched over to Kyrie, who has Anthony Edwards on him. Both of those 2 keep the pressure nonstop. They can't get any splipperation. The one time Kyrie finally manages to shake Ant a little bit, Jaden is there to recover and finally forces a turnover. The 2 of them played such great pressure defense against 2 of the biggest stars in the NBA. Those 2 young studs just turned it up and won't even let them get a shot. Incredible. Loved that. Also, my team's on a 5-game winning streak too, if you're wondering. So yeah, the balling worked out pretty well for me too. All right, that was fun. Cool. On to the next. One more game before All-Star break. It's against the Washington Wizards, who don't have a very good record, but are kind of streaking right now, and they have Bradley Beal finally healthy again, too, so they might cause us some problems. We'll see. Also, Timberwolves just won the season series against the Mavericks. I assume they're going to end with a better record than us after this Kyrie trade. I think they're going to be pretty deadly, but in the event that we do tie record-wise, Timberwolves have the edge.